Mostly because he taught them to his younger brother in the first place.
Big punch finds its mark. Choke slam.
The WWE 2K banner needs no introductions, and with the release of its 12th title happening next week, it's gearing up to bring more wrestling entertainment to your gaming systems. 2K26 joins a long line of titles in the franchise's history, but it's shaping up to be an installment that ditches the iterative upgrade philosophy that many sports franchises follow, to make changes that can deliver an experience like no other title before it. No aspect of the experience has been spared, with a career mode that follows CM Punk, changes to the island from 2K25, new match modes, and revamped mechanics that make the whole thing feel fresh. The massive roster of selectable fighters from various eras of wrestling history is just icing on the cake, making this one more than just an evolution. 2K26 is a title that could take the franchise's best features and tune them up to 100. Why do we think so? Well, let's dive into it. A step up from 2K25. One of the main reasons for us having as much faith as we do in 2K26 is in the manner it's taken issues from the previous game and reworked those areas to retain their strengths while addressing the weaknesses. For instance, there were a lot of complaints about the commentary getting rather stale once you spent a few hours with the previous game. The new game directly addresses that, adding in famous names that most wrestler fans would be excited to hear into its broadcasting roster, with Wade Barrett and Booker T being our top picks among the new entrants. The commentary had been a sore spot even before 2K25, and this is a welcome change that's a part of the new game's spruced up presentation, and might result in more dynamic and reactive commentary this time around.
Each athlete finding an answer for everything thrown at them.
Samoan drop. Sent into the ropes and a sharp elbow to the back.
The addition of interactive entrances is another highlight for us, as it builds on the great presentation in the previous game by giving us more control over what our favorite wrestler entrances look like as they happen. That's going to make entrances feel way more immersive than they've ever been, and perhaps be a reason for players not to skip them after a few times, although that remains to be seen. But as an improvement, it's a fairly bold and innovative choice. It ensures that there's a meaningful upgrade to the previous game even before you set foot in the ring, after all. The island, and the way it's changed, is another feature that we believe is an impressive step in the right direction for 2K26. Although the previous iteration of it was fairly fun with its Roman Reigns-focused storyline, it did have its share of haters thanks to a rather bland gameplay loop that saw it lose grounds to modes like MyRise and the like. But it's a lot more vibrant this time around, with 3 factions vying for its top spot, along with the addition of the scrapyard as a place to go when you want to take a break from the ring and engage in some brawling fun. That one of the factions is headed by CM Punk himself is a nice touch, tying the island to MyRise and making it feel more connected with the overall game. Furthermore, the fact that you need to choose a faction and take on other players and missions to rise up its ranks gives the island a more competitive environment, and the choice to take your own custom wrestler and join them on a path to glory is more compelling in the new game, in our opinion. It also seems to be more engaging than its first iteration, and we can't wait to see if this facet of the experience lives up to our expectations. Rise with CM Punk. Another choice that has made us believe 2K26 is a definite step up from its predecessor is the new approach to MyRise. Instead of 25's bloodline-focused story, switching over to a single wrestler's rise to fame is a smarter way to make the entire thing more focused, involved, and also engaging, considering CM Punk's popularity and his brash, outspoken approach. His rise to fame, aside from its potential intersections with other game modes like The Island, is beneficial in another important way. It streamlines the fantasy warfare portion of the experience, which we thought got too tedious in 2K25 thanks to how it followed several members of the Bloodline. By having it follow only a single character this time, it makes the entire thing a lot more palatable and leaves more time to engage with all the other features on offer. It helps that MyRise is designed for replayability in 2K26, ensuring that you keep coming back for more after the main campaign, The playable roster is another major upgrade, with over 400 players in comparison to the previous game's 300-strong roster. Yes, some of them are the same character from different points in their careers, while a few are DLC additions that might be locked to Battle Pass, but considering the possibility of stat differences and perhaps unique traits to each one, that's still a lot of options that might just be of use in specific situations. Of course, MyGM is always going to let you create a custom character if that's how you choose to roll, and progressing through the game and unlocking upgrades is always going to be fun if you're a pro wrestling sim fan. It's the presence of options, and ones that are as engaging as they can be, that has us this optimistic for the game. And as far as how you use those options are concerned, there is a fair bit to look forward to on that front as well. What's new in the ring? The Action is unmistakably the star of the show in any WWE 2K title, and the new entrant to the franchise's lineup seems poised to deliver very well on that front thanks to a few key changes. New animations and refinements to your player's movements were expected, and aren't much of a surprise, but that doesn't mean that 2K26 doesn't have a few tricks up its sleeve. For starters, tying reversals to your stamina is a solid choice that adds a tactical layer to their use, and is sure to have you planning the use as you go. You never know when your opponent is going to use one themselves, but having you watch stamina bars and expect one to come your way is a welcome change. A good fight is where you use your muscles and your brains after all. Next up is the improvement of environmental interactions, which is a very welcome change in terms of the gameplay as well as immersion. We think we're not alone in being disappointed with how collisions with objects looked pretty lackluster in the last game, but if the previews are anything to go by, things are a lot better this time around. Hitting your opponents with anything looks quite real now, and the shopping carts are a rather amusing addition that we're quite eager to try for ourselves. There's also the addition of new match modes like Dumpster, I Quit, and more match types that we're just itching to try out. Their presence is a fun alternative to the traditional format, and the Scrapyard Brawl option from the island works very well with the new ones to ensure that there's always going to be variety. Between different game and match modes, there's a lot to keep you occupied, and 2K26 feels like a game that you could sink hours into without fatigue setting in, a facet of the experience that's often felt too prominent in previous titles. However, that's contingent on the assumption that you're not a hardcore wrestling fan. And that's probably the best thing we have to say about 2K26. It seems designed to cater to both casual and hardcore wrestling fans, while it's going to be welcoming to newcomers if its predecessors are any indication. It's a game that you can pick up and lose yourself in once you get into the groove of things, and that might just turn out to be its biggest strength. Dusting off our gear. We're pretty excited to get our hands on 2K26, no doubt about it, but we're still remaining cautiously objective about the whole thing. For all of the things that we've praised over the course of this one, the game's success hinges on all of those elements coming together into one cohesive experience. That's always something that could go either way. But this is WWE 2K that we're talking about. The franchise's pedigree speaks for itself. While it's also been getting progressively better over the past couple of years, based on that upward trend and what we've been able to see of the game, we'd say things are looking pretty good for the new kid on the block, and this one might just be worth all the hype. Thankfully, we won't have to wait too long to find out if we're right. Hey, did you know that we at Gaming Bolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.